25 travel rules followed by the British royal family. The British royal family is one of the most famous monarchical families in the world, and for good reason. The monarchy survived centuries of political changes and has remained relevant even in today's world. However, outside of the prestige and honor that comes with being a member of the family, there are also lots of rules and protocols to follow. The members of the royal family have their lives mapped out for them by a set of rules that cover almost all aspects of their lives. From the way they interact in public to the type of work they do and the type of person they marry, there are stringent rules to follow. In this video, we'll review 25 travel rules that members of the British family must follow anytime they move from one location to another. Number 1. Passports. Every ordinary citizen of the world needs a passport to travel from one country to another. The passport's one of the important travel documents without which you'll be denied entry into many countries and cities. However, not everybody has to worry about getting a passport to travel. The Queen or King of England, who's the head of the British royal family, does not require a passport to travel from one country to another. This is because the UK passport is issued to citizens in the name of the monarch, meaning that every holder of the British passport has the permission of the monarch to travel. Thus, requiring the King or Queen of England to hold a passport is similar to asking them for their own permission to travel. Number 2. Black dress. It's compulsory for members of the royal family to pack black dresses every time they travel. It's a non-negotiable rule that's been in the family for a long period. The idea behind this rule is so that they're able to mourn the death of any member of the family if it occurs while they're on travel. This rule was justified in 1952 when King George VI died while his daughter Elizabeth was in faraway Kenya on a visit to the African country. She got word of her father's death and had to return home immediately. However, on her return home, she was not able to leave the plane and mourn properly because she did not pack a black dress. One of her staff had to bring her a black dress to the plane before she could change, leave the plane, and begin mourning properly. Number 3. Traveling together. Another rule that might sound strange, but makes a lot of sense, is that two direct heirs to the throne must not travel together. It's not advisable for two heirs to be on the same vehicle, plane, or any other means of transportation together, traveling at the same time. This rule was made to forestall the possibility of losing two heirs to an accident at the same time. In the situation that the reigning monarch dies, one of the direct heirs should be around to take over or stand in line. However, because this rule is not an official one, but a standard rule, it's been flouted by some members of the royal family. Prince William and Kate have been seen leaving the plane with their little ones, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, many times. It's been reported that the head of the monarchy has the final say on the implementation of this rule, and the Queen has been lenient on it, given that the conditions for air travel and other means of transportation today are much safer than when the rule was formulated. Number 4. British Airways. While this is not exactly a rule, it's highly recommended that members of the royal family travel using British Airways whenever they're on air travel. This recommendation is made to support and show solidarity with the airline company that's indigenous to the country. It also helps to support the economy of the UK. It is, however, important to mention that Prince William and Harry have in the past flouted this rule, as they've either traveled privately or used another airline. Also, it's important to mention that the royals travel on commercial airlines when they do travel. Apart from British Airways, some members of the royal family have also been seen taking Ryanair and American Airlines. However, this does not mean that you're likely to run into the king or queen or any other member of the royal family on a flight. Most of them do not take scheduled flights, and when they do, they're usually in first class or business class. Number 5. Parallel chin. This rule is for the female members of the royal family, and it states that when they leave a plane, their chin should remain parallel to the stairs of the plane. It's been explained that this rule is to help them maintain their posture as they exit from the plane. This is because when the chin is up or down and not parallel to the stairs, it gives an idea that you're not interested in what's going on around you. This is not an impression you want to give as a member of the royal family. Therefore, it's important that the chin remains parallel to the stairs. Number 6. Short visits. While this is not exactly a rule in itself, it's a common practice with the members of the royal family. Their visits are usually short-lived as they jet back home or to another country as soon as they can. Be it for a meeting with world leaders, visiting events or cultural shows, or any visit whatsoever, the members of the royal family are not usually able to wander around in other countries. A reporter that once covered a royal tour once said that he had seen the late Queen spend only 40 minutes in a country before leaving. This is a shame because one would expect that the royals would be able to visit different parts of the countries they visit and see really cool places. An example of this short-lived visit is Prince William and Princess Kate's recent visit to Boston. Number 7. Specific packing lists. Apart from the black dress that every member of the royal family must travel with, the women in the royal family must also travel with 2 beige pumps. There must also be shorts and barrettes for young princes and princesses, numbering 5 each. Number 8. Large staff. It's almost impossible to imagine the members of the royal family traveling alone, and it will never happen. Members of the royal family are required to travel around with their security team, private secretaries, personal assistants, and other important staff. An example of this rule being followed was in 2019 when Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle traveled to South Africa. The couple had 13 staff members with them, which included security, private secretaries, hairdressers, and a nanny for their son Archie. It's been reported that the late Queen Elizabeth II's entourage is usually up to 34 people, while Prince William's entourage is usually about half a dozen. Number 9. New place, new culture. It's a requirement for members of the royal family to learn about the culture of a new country they're visiting. This rule makes sense seeing as the monarchy is one of the biggest cultural representations in the world. It also makes sense that they make a conscious effort to respect other people's cultures. Some of the things the royals are expected to know include the language, some basic greetings, important cultural facts, and other important things. There are internal palace aides that help royals with these lessons. They teach them the basic greetings in the new language and provide them with enough information to make a good impression, which is the point of the rule in the first place. Number 10. Drinks. The members of the royal family are known to pack their own drinks when they travel. While it's expected that the royals will be offered and served drinks when in another country, it's safer and better to have a stash of their preferred drinks without having to bother their hosts. It's reported that the bodyguards of the royals are personally in charge of these drinks and ensure that no other person has access to these drinks apart from the royals. This eliminates the chances of their drinks getting spiked and causing a health emergency for the members of the royal family. Therefore, as much as it may seem like a lifestyle choice, it's also a rule regarding the safety of the royals. Number 11. Public displays of affection. While this is a rule that also exists without traveling, it's still a sacrosanct event when they're in another country. The royals are not allowed to be all touchy and mushy with their partners while on official tours and royal engagements in other countries. Number 12. Travel with blood. The head of the monarchy is mandated to travel with their own blood supply and a team of medical professionals. The essence of this rule is obvious: to prevent a situation where the monarch is unable to access blood in case of a medical emergency. The rule is usually upheld when the royals are traveling to areas where blood supply or medical services may be very difficult to access or are of questionable quality. This means they may not travel with blood packs when traveling to first world countries with impressive healthcare. The medical professional that accompanies the royals on their travels is usually a Royal Navy doctor. Number 13. Accept all gifts on behalf of the king. Another rule that affects the behavior of the royals while traveling is that they must accept all gifts offered to them by their hosts. This is regardless of the host, their affiliations, and other considerations. Royals are expected to accept all gifts. However, it is important to point out that these gifts all belong to the king. Even if the gifts are for kids, they still belong to the king, who then decides to disperse them any way he likes. Number 14. Color code for luggage. Given the number of people in the royal family, it's not surprising that they usually have lots of luggage when they travel. Therefore, it's possible that these bags get mixed up. However, there is a rule that helps to prevent this from happening. Each member of the royal family has a color code for their luggage. For instance, the late Queen Elizabeth had yellow tags on her luggage, as does Princess Kate, while King Charles has a red tag on his luggage. The difference between the late Queen's and Princess Kate's bag is that the Queen's bag has a Queen tag written on it, Prince William's color is blue, and Princess Anne has the color green assigned to her. Number 15. Dress code. The color code for bags and luggage is not the only code-related rule that royals have to follow when traveling. They also need to dress appropriately and put together. There's no room for a shabby dress or anything outside of a corporate dress code befitting a member of the royal family. Another dressing-related rule for traveling is the fact that some members of the family must travel in high heels. Not only should these heels be a part of their travel luggage, but the heels must also be of a certain color. Number 16. No traveling for pregnant royals. Members of the royal family who are expecting a child are discouraged from traveling. This rule may be more of a health precaution than a tradition, and it makes sense because the royal tours could be stressful and could affect the health of the expecting mother or the child. To prevent any of this from happening, the pregnant royals are exempt from traveling. Number 17. No autographs. Members of the royal family are not allowed to sign autographs as celebrities do. This is to prevent unscrupulous members of society from forging their signatures for fraud. However, this rule is not as strict as it used to be anymore, because Meghan Markle was recently reported to have signed autographs for people. This could be chalked down to reflex actions from her life as a celebrity actress. Nonetheless, it's an act that's largely discouraged among the members of the royal family. Number 18. No selfies. This is somewhat similar to the last rule. Members of the royal family are not expected to take selfies with members of the public, especially when they're in another country. The late Queen was said not to be a fan of it and largely discouraged it. However, this is another rule that's not been as strict as it should be anymore. This is because some members of the royal family have been seen taking selfies with people in the past. Number 19. No travels without jet lag remedy. This practice is not true for all members of the royal family. Only the late Queen Elizabeth II abided by this self-imposed rule. The late monarch did not travel without her remedy for jet lag. In the later days of the Queen's life, her body could not bounce back from jet lag and travel-induced stress as it used to in the past. Therefore, she had to rely on certain remedies to help her body adapt to the new time zone. The remedy for jet lag used by the late Queen was barley sugar. Barley sugar has the ability to help the body resynchronize the body's sugar metabolism pathway. This way, the body easily overcomes the stress that comes with traveling, as well as the exhaustion that comes with operating in a different time zone. Number 20. Common immigration rules. We've mentioned earlier that the head of the British royal family does not require a passport to travel. However, this rule is only allowed for the head of the family. The other members of the family have to undergo the same immigration process that every common person undergoes. The identity checks and luggage checks are all undertaken to ensure that the person traveling is indeed a member of the royal family as proclaimed. Even the head of the royal family has to undergo an identity check, even if their face is on the currencies spent in the country. Number 21. Huge travel budget. The members of the royal family spend a lot of money on traveling. A report stated that the family spent about $5.8 million on travel alone in 2018. It's also estimated that a single trip undertaken by members of the royal family can cost six figures. In 2016, King Charles was reported to have spent the highest on travel among the members of the royal family after he visited Italy, Romania, and Austria. The trip was estimated to have cost a little under $200,000. Number 22. Duplicate outfits. Another item that goes into the travel luggage of royals, especially the head of the monarchy, such as the queen or king, is a duplicate of every outfit in the luggage. This is done in case there's a need to have a sudden change of clothes before meeting important dignitaries. Of course, this does not mean anything to the royals, especially the head of the family. While common people may have to worry about the extra luggage from the duplicate outfits, the Queen or King of England does not. Number 23. Tea tree oil. This is a rule that only pertains to the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. She has a travel ritual that's remained with her since her time as an actress before marrying into the royal family. She never travels without tea tree oil. According to her, while the tea tree oil is not a glamorous item, it's a cure-all for breakouts, mosquito bites, or any skin health emergency that may arise. Also, it's easy to carry this item because it's small and meets all TSA requirements. So while she may not be able to access her skincare routine while on the road, she has an item that lets her maintain her skin health. Number 24. Rigorous traveling schedule. There's no rule for spontaneity when you're traveling as a royal. Their itineraries and movement are all planned out and are to be followed as strictly as possible. This is why you see them with their private secretaries holding big spiral-bound notes that contain their travel schedules. Number 25. Coats. The final rule that royals must abide by when they travel outside of the country is that they must have coats on them. Coats are considered a part of conventional British fashion, and it's expected that the royal family upholds this culture. Therefore, you're most likely to find royals in public with coats at all times. There are even rumors that the members of the royal family cannot take off their coats in public unless they're told to do so. If that's true, then it's one of the weirdest travel rules that royals have to deal with and abide by at all times. There you have it. These are 25 rules that members of the British royal family have to follow every time they step on a plane to travel to another country. It's important to mention that most of these rules are applicable only when they're on official travel and royal engagements. Some of these rules have no place in the private lives of these royals. Or maybe they do. Let us know which of these rules you find strangest or funny. Do let us know in the comments section. And while you're at it, ensure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on subsequent videos.